This episode hit deep, one of the most layered and emotional of the whole entire series. At its core, it's about breaking cycles of abuse, trauma, lies, even parenting. It asks us if the next generation will do better than the last one, or are we doomed to pass down the same pain, even if it looks different.
You know, when it's your turn, I hope you do a little better than me.
So let's get into this episode and break it all down. So we start off with a scene where we see Joel's dad, and Joel is younger, and this isn't in the video game, but this is a welcome addition here. This really adds to Joel's character depth, and it was amazing. Because yes, in the game, this theme of, will this cycle of violence continues, definitely in there, but we never see how it's passed on to Joel. So now we're getting two generations. We're seeing how it's passed on to Joel, and then how Joel passes it on to Ellie. Now there's another cycle presented almost at the beginning that's kind of hard to miss because it's a callback to the first season. So we see Joel putting the moth in there, right?
Never did ask. What is it with the moths?
Nothing. I just read about them in a book on dreams and stuff. It's kind of symbolic.
Oh, right. Yeah, like change and growing and such. So what's a moth?
Death, if you believe in that shit.
So the callback to season 1 there is this moth is representing death, and death has surrounded, well, everybody in this world. But with Ellie, you know, it's the kind of central through line of this lie Joel, you know, told Ellie. And so the fireflies are on her mind and everything. But the cycle I'm talking about is one of self-harm, because Joel almost did that to himself. And you can kind of also read this as Ellie struggling with that as well. So that's another cycle they're both in. You know, Joel's doing his parenting thing here, and I have to say he's definitely doing better than his dad, right? But he's also kind of in this repeat cycle of parenting too, which is why this hits so hard.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself.
He's kind of in this cycle of constantly losing his actual daughter and people that are daughter-like figures to him, you know, Sarah, Ellie, and then he didn't know what was going to happen to Dina right before Abby killed him. He was worried about it, and he tried to save Dina in that situation too. So it's something that got played out for him till the very end. So I was thinking about this for a long time. Thematically, what did the dinosaurs in space have to do with everything going on? And here's my interpretation. So we go from dinosaurs that are extinct over into this theme of space, which is futuristic. It's about expansion, the advancement of humanity, right? And you're kind of in this split situation here where is humanity going to become extinct like the dinosaurs, or thrive like astronauts and space exploration and go into the future? And I think this kind of introduces another cycle that these characters are all in just the Last of Us universe as a whole, which is this cycle of escape. Everyone's trying to escape through different means, through different situations, because what they're living through is so traumatic, right? And I think that's why this was such a powerful present for Joel to give Ellie, for him, but then also for her.
1, 0, all engine running. Liftoff, we have a liftoff.
Because in that moment, she's able to escape. She's able to imagine something so vividly that she's no longer in this world, in this reality that is just so painful. And I love this moment here where we can see Joel crying because he knows he's doing better than what his dad did for him. I also love this scene right here where Ellie was staring into space, and then the camera pans over and we see fireflies. The fireflies that Joel has continued to lie about. Real quick, if you love digging into the deeper meaning of episodes like this, I drop reviews every single week, so go ahead and hit subscribe and like so they show up on your feed. As the quote says, Joel's dad wanted him to do a little better than he did. And Joel did do a little better, but things are repeating like this. So in this scene, Ellie is rehearsing what she wants to say to Joel because she's just that scared to talk to him about it. Just like Tommy and Joel had to rehearse a situation to try and break the news to their dad because they were that afraid to talk to him about it. Then we moved to the scene with Eugene, which was an amazing addition to the story. Once again, this was not in the video game, but let me tell you why this was so powerful, because I don't see anybody talking about it. The reason why adding Eugene in here was so powerful is because this is about breaking cycles. Joel has a cycle of lying, right? When Joel says this to Ellie.
When we get there, I'll tell Gail what she needs to know and nothing more. It's the right thing to do.
When Joel asks Ellie to do that, what he's doing is he's bringing her into that cycle of lying. So this gives Ellie the chance to do better than Joel, a little bit better. Because if she doesn't do better, she's just perpetuating that same cycle. And we don't see in the game Ellie get invited into Joel's own cycles of pain and everything that he's been living through. So we get a full scene of Ellie breaking that cycle.
That's not what happened. He begged to see you. He had time. Joel promised to take him to you. He promised us both. And then Joel shot him in the head.
And that wasn't Ellie perpetuating Joel's pain that he inflicts on other people. This was her doing a kindness for Gale, so that Gale doesn't have to live in the same limbo of a lie that Ellie's been having to live in when it comes to Joel lying to her about the fireflies. I also like that they implemented this part. So right here, we're seeing the dynamic between Tommy and his son, and also seeing how he is trying to do better than his dad as well, and looks like he is. By the way, if you're liking this video and you want more breakdowns, early access to the breakdowns, and ad-free versions of the breakdowns, come join our community, The Real Few, on Patreon. We have great discussions about these shows, so I hope to see you in there. And then there's the best scene of the whole series, in my opinion, the porch scene.
You lied to me. You looked me in the eyes, and you lied. And it was the same face, the same fucking look. So I'm gonna give you one last chance. Tell me what happened with the fireflies. If you lie to me again, we're done.
So now Ellie's offering Joel a chance to break his own cycle, to start over, to do something different, to begin making amends. Now, if you notice his reaction, it may look a little familiar to you, because this is how he reacts when Ellie's questioning him.
Were they raiders? Could they have made a cure?
Which goes back to episode 1.
You can't heal something unless you're brave enough to say it out loud. I'm scared though. Say it out loud, no matter what it is, no matter how bad. I promise I will help. Did you do something to her? Did you hurt her?
And so you see in that therapy session earlier in the day of when they actually talked on the porch, he also just couldn't really get the words out right. But you know what I think he was actually extremely scared to say, that he actually did end up getting to say?
I would do it all over again.
Because you're selfish.
Because I love you. In a way you can't understand. Maybe you never will. But if that day should come, if you should ever have one of your own, well then, I hope you do a little better than me.
I think that's what he was truly scared of saying, was that he loved Ellie, right? Because in the game itself, he actually never says it. It's implied. But with the theme in this show, the cycle of not saying what you really mean, what you really feel, he was able to break that. And like Gale said, that's what starts the healing, which is why Ellie was able to say this line.
I don't think I can forgive you for this. But I would like to try.
Because them both being able to get up the courage to speak what they had to out loud, they were able to start the process of healing. Unfortunately, it got cut extremely short because Joel died the very next day. And in that way, he was able to give himself what he was never able to give Eugene, which was Eugene getting to see Gale and having to hear what he needed from Gale. And also, Joel said this.
If you love someone, you can always see their face.
And who was the last person that Joel was able to see? Ellie. But the question remains, will Ellie be able to do better than Joel? For those of us that have played the game, we know that answer. For everyone watching the show, you will find out. And remember, the question is, will she do a little better? Because that's all we can ever do. One foot in front of the other, a little bit at a time. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like and the subscribe so more of these will show up on your feed. And until next week for the finale, I'll see y'all.